Pardon me on that. Gotta get my drink going here. My little Dwinky poo. Oh man, I'll tell you what. That yelling. Ugh. I think I broke a funny fuse. I hate stupid people. Does everybody not care for stupid people? Is that like do we all agree with that? Like I can't stand I can't stand stupid people. Is that where we're going here? Nobody should have to live in a world of stupidity. What's up, America? How you doing, Cali Gal? Hell yes. Yeah, nobody should have to live in a world of open stupidity. And I gotta tell you, and I know I feces on TikTok quite a bit. Is that like an insane asylum or something over there? Is there an insane asylum on, like, I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, whatever. I digress. I think people have blown some type of fuse. Say fuckwit. How you going, Callagher? Look at these fucking fuckwits. Fucking dodgy cunts, I swear to God. Fucking fuckwits. All of them. That's right, all of them. What are you going to do about it? Huh? Right. So, what's up, America? How is everybody? It's time to go over the news here where we're going to talk about Tim Walz and other types of more controversial situations because this app doesn't suck so much ding dong. It's fantastic. So, first thing I want to talk about, thank you, Dabical. What?
The black-eyed hobo.
The black-eyed hobo, thank you. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you, Callie. Oh my God, I'm slow. Okay, so the big news of the day, not even the big news, the funny news of the day, is people are driving by Tim Walz's house screaming retard out of their cars. That's fantastic. It's definitely funny. It's in the news. And people are starting to make videos driving by his house screaming hard R.
You don't have to say hard R.
Oh, I know. I'm just, yeah. At Tim Walz's house. Now we have people posting on Instagram in front of Tim Walz's house with giant signs and American flags saying Tim Walz is a retard, which is apparently what's going on. And MAGA conservatives are going to his house saying that, posting all kinds of stuff up to and including a race where Tim Walz is in shock. Oh, never mind. And his daughter also came out and defended her father, Tim Walz, about the, quote, slurs and harassment that are being thrown at Tim Walz's face. So Governor Tim Walz is now calling Donald Trump voters evil fascists and Nazis and the modern day Gestapo. Trump is now declaring Tim Walz a bully against Trump supporters, which is leading to what now Tim Walz being called retarded is now being said that that's pretty much the same thing, only in different clothing. So Trump supporters are saying that Tim Walz being called retarded is bullying, but calling them fascists and Gestapo beforehand is not. So real quick, if you'd like to hear Tim Walz's daughter talk about this, we can hear why she's upset and what she has to say about her father, Tim Walz. So, what's up, America? How you doing? So, let's hear it just real quick.
No, I'm talking about this because while my family and I are always going to be the bigger people, the president calling my dad what he did has unleashed a storm regarding, like, offensive language towards me and my family, and specifically my brother. You can call me whatever you want. You can call my dad, my mom. When it's Gus, to the no. to the no. He dealt with people calling him that last August, and now there's a resurgence. And no, how is it okay that the President of the United States can call somebody, anybody, doesn't matter who they are, that, and then all of his freaking cult members come and attack those people and that person's family? Say what you want about my dad, he's an elected official, right? Like, that's gonna happen. I think it's utterly disgraceful that the president would do that. But then the attacks that I have seen, I have people DMing me saying absolutely horrendous things. When I was home last week, somebody drove by and screamed that we were R words. Just driving by in their car. I'm like, what world are we living in? And again, I draw the line at Gus because he dealt with that before, and not again. You people are disgraceful.
Okay, so I understand what she's saying here. Great. But if I recall, liberals are the ones that did that, started that, and dabbled and dealt with that for years. I also remember people like Dean Withers and Harry Sisson going against conservatives, telling people to come after their families and do that. So if you remember on TikTok, a guy by the name of Dean Withers told all his followers to go after and get a person's children taken away from them for their political beliefs. Same with Parker Get a Job and also Harry Sisson. I remember people talking about wanting to throw people in jail and all this other shit for saying said words like retarded, like they're calling Tim Walz now. So it's good for the goose, but not good for the gander, according to at least Tim Walz's daughter. At the same time, she's not an elected official, so I believe it's probably not a good idea to go after the family of anybody, but that's because we're not pieces of shit for the most part. Now, that being said, it is just a word, it is just speech, and it's not causing violence. However, the tribalism of people going on and calling each other all kinds of stuff over and over, but then attacking their families is not new to Democrats. Democrats have been doing that for a very long time. Arguably, that type of rhetoric is exactly why they believe Tim Pool got his house shot up and why Charlie Kirk was executed, and also why Donald Trump was almost assassinated twice. So that's the general consensus here. And the way I look at it is the tribalism based on speech is the very reason why a lot of people are starting to try to attack and fight one another, which is even worse than it should be. If you allowed free speech, this wouldn't be happening. But the initial attempt to stop free speech is why people are doing this, because you allowed somebody to say those words were naughty and hurt me, and you tried to stop that speech, and you did, and it's ballooned into this back and forth dumb fuck horse shit that we see culminating here on X, on YouTube, and of course mainly TikTok, where people are so tribal that they believe it's their right to shut down your speech in order to protect someone, which is the same mentality police use when they illegally search and seize your property. Oh, we're taking it for your safety. We're doing it for your safety. We're shutting down your speech for your safety, which of course is a dog whistle for we're taking your rights away. Go fuck yourself. That's what we're at right now, regardless of whether you think someone's a Nazi or a fascist, you call Tim Walz retarded, whatever it is, or you're allowed to say the N-word. You either have unlimited free speech or you have no free speech. Now, a lot of people want to say, well, what about saying fire in a theater and shit like that? Well, the Supreme Court ruled X, Y, or Z. I believe the complete opposite. I'm the complete opposite of that type of situation. I believe that you should, a free speech absolutist, you should be smart enough to discern whether someone's full of shit or not. That's all it is. And so if I come out here and say a bunch of bullshit that's fake, if I say, hey, I found that squirrels were magical and they cure some type of disease, and you go, and I go with that and you follow that and you're dumb enough to believe it, that's on you. Now, fraudulently saying things about products selling to the general public, that's a different story. However, at the same time, hell yeah, when you are saying that type, you should be able to say whatever the fuck you feel. But that's me being a free speech absolutist. That's how it is. I've heard all kinds of stuff on social media. It's the internet. And I used to always do the Family Guy adage, well, if you don't like it, go on the internet and complain. And it's a free open space. Now, when it comes to protecting children from things like abusers or traffickers, any type of chomo shit, whatever, totally agree, fuck you. You don't have speech when it comes to that. You don't have free speech for chomo shit. You heard? That's what it is. At the same time, when it comes to whatever you want to say, as long as it's not harming children, in my opinion, animals, stuff like that, that's fine. But when you start saying, well, where does it harm the government? Now we need a surveillance state. Now we need to set up laws that are going to get you in trouble for your hatred of X, Y, or Z. You don't like the Jews. You don't like black people. You don't like this, that, or the other. Where's the line between criminal prosecution and just being a fucking asshole? So if you go out there and say a bunch of racial slurs, that's just you being an asshole. But does it need to be criminally prosecuted? What's up, Stephanie? If I go and mock the Jewish faith, does that need to be criminally prosecuted? Or is that allowed to just fly because we have the speech? Where does it end? Where does it begin? If that's the case, why have Democrats never tried to criminalize the N-word, but criminalize anti-Semitism? See, this is why I don't believe in political parties. Because if Democrats gave a fuck, they would have tried to criminalize the N-word, but they didn't. If Republicans gave a fuck, they would try to open up free speech, but they don't. They're trying to penalize anti-Semitic speech. So, therefore, you either have all or nothing. You can't have this half-half bullshit where it's okay to say the N-word, but not okay to say anti-Semitic shit, where you can mock somebody of Asian descent, but you can't mock someone of Hispanic descent. It's either all or nothing. You can't piecemeal this stupidity. But our government's certainly trying to. Absolutely. What's up, Ruthie? How you doing? So, I want to talk real quick about the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act that just passed the House of Representatives December 6th, I believe it was, or 5th, not exactly sure which date of this year. So just, what's up, America? So this is the type of shit I'm referring to, is the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. So the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, or originally House Resolution 6090, in the 118th Congress reintroduced as House Resolution 1007 and Senate Bill S558 in the Senate for the 119th Congress. It aims to address rising anti-Semitism, particularly on college campuses, by codifying a specific definition of anti-Semitism into federal law for use in civil rights enforcement. The legislation has been bipartisan but highly controversial, drawing support for Jewish advocacy groups and criticism from free speech advocates. What's up, America? So, I'll just go into a history of this and then we'll get into the meat of it. The initial House passage, the bill passed the U.S. House of Representatives May 1st, 2024 by a 320 to 91. This came amid congressional hearings on anti-Semitism following the October 7th Hamas attacks. Senate status, it stalled due to concerns over free speech, and it was not brought to a vote until the end of the 118th Congress, December 2024. However, the 2025, what's up, Twin Mom? What's up, Proud Boy? How's everybody doing? Was reintroduced with Republicans gaining majority in both chambers. Election, the bill was reintroduced February 2025. As of December 7th, it remains in committee, House Education and Workforce Committee, Senate Health Committee, and is not advanced to a floor vote. Although they've delayed it in April 2025, but I already heard they voted on it. Isn't that what I heard too? Anyway, but no full passage has occurred yet. Analysts expect potential movement at the end of 2025 or 2026, given Republican control. It has not become law yet. It's been on since 2024.
No, he's not that long.
Oh, about 7 to 10 minutes at most. What does the bill do? This is the anti-Semitism bill. This directs the United States Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights, to adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism when investigating complaints of Title VI or the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Title VI prohibits discrimination based on race, color, or national origin in programs receiving federal funding, i.e., public schools or universities. The IHRA definition of anti-Semitism is this. They will say that calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing of Jews or harming of Jews, making seditious or salacious, dehumanizing, or stereotype allegations about Jews, accusing Jews of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust, denying the Jewish people's rights of self-determination, i.e., claiming Israel's existence is racist. Oh, what's up, Brad? How you doing? And applying double standards to Israel not expected of other democratic nations. They specifically state democratic nations. This bill does not create new crimes, but offers or censor speech directly, but investigates into whether alleged discrimination creates a hostile environment for Jewish students based on speech. So that's like talking out of both sides of its mouth. That's fucking stupid. Anyway, this builds on a Donald Trump executive order EO 13899 that already encouraged using IHRA definitions but lacked authority. Hell yeah, what's up, Brad? I'm glad you're here, my friend. In essence, this makes anti-Semitism explicitly actionable under existing civil rights law, similar to how discrimination against other groups like black people is handled. Hell yeah, thank you, my friend. You're awesome, my friend. So the bill has consequences for anti-Semitic speech. So for Jewish students, potential positives are a stronger protection, providing a clear tool to investigate and penalize anti-Semitic harassment or discrimination, potentially reducing incidents like vandalism of Jewish centers or excluding from campus activities. Jewish organizations like the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations argue that it would help discipline those who engage in anti-Semitic discrimination and support Jewish safety among reported huge insurgents, according to the ADL, which fucked the Anti-Defamation League, tracked over 10,000 anti-Semitic acts in 2024. Accountability for institutions as well, where universities would face incentives to train staff to not be anti-Semitic. Of course, as you know, during the pro-Palestinian protests at the universities, Jewish students were literally being blocked from attending classes. So even if you don't like Jewish people, you can't block them and stop their freedom of movement. Those people broke the law. Now, there's a potential negative consequence. If misapplied, it could lead to uneven enforcement where some Jewish students' complaints are prioritized from diverse Jewish voices critical of Israel. So basically saying that your voice against Israel will be criminalized if we decide that it's against our interests, because it may look like it's anti-Semitic when it's just critical of the government of Israel. You see what I'm saying here? Now, if you believe being critical of Zionism is separate from being critical of Jewish people, then that's a problem. If you are just anti-Jewish period. We'll talk about that on another platform. Now, for free speech, it says here that for positives, it clarifies boundaries. Supporters say it distinguishes protected speech from discriminatory conduct without banning criticism of Israel. That's what an amendment to the bill emphasized. However, others are saying, according to the ACLU, that it has chilling effects on speech. Critics, including the ACLU and the Foundation for Individual Rights, warned that the IHRA examples could equate legitimate criticism of Israel, i.e. calling for the ending of Gaza apartheid, quote unquote, with anti-Semitism. It might pressure universities to self-censor to avoid Title VI violations altogether and lose the federal funding, billions annually, if they violate. What's up, Skeeter? So the broader implications is it could disproportionately affect Arabs, Muslims, or pro-Palestinian students or activists to investigations, suspensions, or chilled protests and expulsions. A 2024 federal judge struck down a similar Texas law, here you go, as unconstitutional for vagueness. Some conservatives, like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, opposed it, fearing it could label certain Christian biblical interpretations as anti-Semitic. So, there's that. That looks terrifying for free speech. University funding, compliance to this gives universities more money. Financial penalties for non-compliance, including losing all federal funding, and also losing all federal funding for the individual students in college. That should worry you as well. Now, they say that there's a precedent for clarity, sets a model for defining other forms of bias, promoting equality and civil rights, but then they say that this also could have a negative impact of polarization on debates and stopping people from having real talk. Thank you, JB. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. She's like sitting there looking at me. I'm like, what? I didn't even see it. Thank you, JB. So basically, there's a back and forth here on the anti-Semitism law, and that is going to be a fuck up if and when it comes. So we have to work on that to see if you believe that's good, bad, or fucking ugly. Let me know in the comments if you believe that the anti-Semitism bill holds water or if it's trash. If you believe it holds water, let me know. If you believe it's trash, also let me know. Fantastic. So, we talked about Pearl Harbor Day. Today is Pearl Harbor Day. Russia's rapidly gaining territory in the Ukraine. We talked about that on TikTok. Russia is starting to make big gains while Ukraine is starting to fall. China threatens Japanese aircraft by locking weapons radar on the aircraft, potentially warning of an attack. And Taiwan is also under the gun, saying that China may invade Taiwan coming up. 5 miles of Taiwan's coast, ZTD-05 amphibious vehicles roll out ships and zip over waters amid hail of artillery fire. Here you go, baby. Chinese soldiers have their orders seize the beach or die trying. Closed by China's airborne troops are taking losses. They arrived before dawn in a low-flying Y-20 aircraft to seize Taoyuan Airport. Taiwanese defenders downed several planes. Paratroopers that landed scattered or in race to assault airfields before Taiwan wrecks it. This hypothetical battle scenario imagines a Chinese invasion of Taiwan as militaries, policymakers, and war gamers are doing. An amphibious invasion would be one of the toughest military operations to execute. And an all-out war would be extremely bloody, devastate the global economy, and change the course of the 21st century. Only 10 miles separate, or 110 miles separate China from Taiwan's coast, as Beijing seemingly is ramping up to attack Taiwan. According to Chinese generals, there are 2 short windows to attack Taiwan directly from China, one being from middle March to April, the end of April, and another time from the end of September through October. The Taiwanese Strait is a daunting obstacle with tens of thousands of Chinese troops would need to cross with tanks, trucks, and more while Taiwan's missiles and mines and possibly U.S. bombers and submarines target the fleets. The straits can be hostile without any of that, depending on the month. Amphibious vehicles attempting to land on Taiwan would encounter a mix of typhoons, unpredictable currents, strong winds, rain, and fog. Really nasty stuff, according to Joshua Arotagel of the U.S. Army War College, expert on Chinese military and sea conditions. Excuse me. The island of Taiwan is much bigger than Okinawa or Iwo Jima with the 1945 battles. Taiwan is 13,826 square miles versus the American invasions of Iwo Jima, which was 8 square miles, and Okinawa, which is 463 square miles, that led to mass casualties. The terrain of Taiwan initially comes into a flat plain facing China, going up into high mountain ranges over 8,000 feet in some elevations, and one with Mount Shushan at 12,749 feet. So the Chinese mountain divisions would also need to be involved. The coastline of possible invasion of Taiwan stems from the south and west to the north of Taipei and also the northeast of Taiwan, seeing a potential 3-point invasion of the island with heavy urban combat, which is in the cities of New Taipei City with 4.5 million people, Taichung with 2.86 million people, Kaohsiung of 2.73 million people, Taipei at 2.49 million, and Taoyuan at 2.34 million people, indicating a great deal of urban warfare that Chinese troops have been preparing for quite some time. The population density of Taipei, for instance, is 23,734 individuals per square mile, making it one of the most populated and highly dense cities in the entire world, showing that it would be nearly impossible. China would initially unleash joint firepower strikes, pounding Taiwan with missiles. The goal to soften Taiwan up by battering its defenses, makes it safer for Chinese ships to cross the straits, break Taiwan's will to fight, and dissuade the United States with intervention. The campaign would likely involve hundreds of missiles falling on hundreds of targets from Taiwan's air defense system and air force bases to ammunition bunkers, command hubs, and coastal artillery. That kind of tastes like poop. Coastal artillery, a little bit. The Blitz would aim to destroy warplanes on the ground, crater runways, and discombobulate Taiwanese defenders. How long the bombardment lasts may be several days to several weeks. This is from our Pentagon about the Chinese invasion. What about my boy Trump? What are you talking about? I fucking call people where it is, and I support people where it is. So if he does something stupid, I'll say something. And if he does something good, I'll say something. This could give the United States time to act, but failing to eliminate key capabilities could imperil the next invasion step. China has undertaken a dramatic buildup of missiles. The rocket force, which was elevated to full military branch 10 years ago, has 3,500 missiles across different ranges, extending from the island of Pingtan, upwards of 300 miles, that could completely devastate within Taiwan if they were able to hit their targets properly, which is still to be seen. What's up, Trinidad and Tobago? I love the Caribbean islands. I have never been to Trinidad and Tobago. I've been to Jamaica and I've been to the Cayman Islands. And if Trinidad and Tobago is anything like that or better, I need to get down. I would love to check out Trinidad and Tobago. Is it Port of Spain, if I recall? Without looking it up, is it Port of Spain? Fantastic. I want some rum from Trinidad and Tobago. And I want that fucking shit from the farmer, right, baby? Yum, yum. Trinidad is the best food. I bet it does, actually. I'll tell you what, man. I'm big into fucking food. Oh, yes, absolutely. I am big into food, especially what we in America would call exotic foods, what everybody else would just call this is what I eat every day. But America has trash food, except for Southern food. Southern food is good. That's my mother. Why, man, it is like glitching when she texts. But yeah, Southern food is where it's at for the most part. But I would love to go to Trinidad and Tobago. Also, Barbados would be nice. If anybody has $5,000 to donate at Waka Waka, I have a passport. Anyway, so initially Chinese rocket forces would go after tough targets, such as U.S.-made Patriot air defense systems. I can see that. They would also attack underground military installations using Chinese bunker busters like the DF-11AZT. An expert at the CNA China U.S.-based think tank said the warheads would not destroy deeply buried facilities but would collapse entrance tunnels. Thank you for the gifts, my friends. The rocket force, Base 61, would be a key player. The brigade under it, located across from Taiwan, is growing in size, as we talk now. What that asshole say?
1,000 crybabies got arrested on January 6th.
1,000 crybabies. What a douchebag. Yeah, it's like, am I here to be I'm here to read the news. I don't, have fun with your political opinion. I don't give a fuck. One big dilemma for Beijing, whether to preemptively strike U.S. bases in the region. American warplanes flying from bases in Japan and U.S. territories in Guam could sink a lot of Chinese ships, but striking them would instantly put the world's top two powers in a war. According to this, Brigade 627 of China's Missile Defense Force could use hypersonic glide vehicles and ballistic missiles to attack Kadena Air Base in Guam, destroying it so they wouldn't be able to attack ships. One of the earliest missiles to attack would be the Dongfeng 17 hypersonic glide vehicle as it skims along the Earth's atmosphere and maneuvers, making it less predictable. The biggest trend in rocket force has been the extension of range. The Higginbotham said the Dongfeng 26 missile, here you go, baby, can reach Guam, a hub of American military power. It's got a heck of a warhead. It's very accurate, comes in fast, and has ferocious killing capabilities. And can go as far as 1,550 miles from its initial flight path, or initial launch point, After the Blitz comes an amphibious assault. In this part of the invasion, Chinese ships would be sunk. Landing forces could be blown up in the water or cut down on the beaches amid fighting akin to bloody World War II battles. What?
He said the dong.
Yes, I said the Dongfeng. How would it begin? Thousands of Chinese troops and millions of tons of equipment would move to coastal staging in China on trucks, trains, and planes, potentially tipping off its adversaries. If China attacks, they're going in big. The last 2 years, however, the People's Liberation Army watchers have begun to wonder if it could use the cover of military exercise to obscure the warning signs. I believe that's 100% right. The Chinese amphibious assault capabilities include a new aircraft carrier that's resembling of a Nimitz class carrier fleet, Type 75 Yushin drone attack amphibious armored attack carriers, having 50 to 60 armored vehicles, 1,200 troops, 30 helicopters, and 3 hovercraft as a landing vehicle, as well as drone aircraft carriers that can launch anywhere between 13 and 50,000 drones. Here you go. That can be honed in on targets with small blast capabilities. Fantastic. The Type 71 Yuzhou landing transport dock can launch 730 troops, 24 amphibious armored vehicles, those are amphibious tanks, 2 to 4 helicopters, and 4 hovercraft. Then you have the Type 72A Yuting amphibious vessel that can launch 10 armored vehicles, 250 men, and a Type 74A Yubei can launch 70 men and 4 amphibious vehicles. Then you have the 726 Yuri hovercraft that can come aboard with at least 50 to 100 men. Here you go, honey. And the most fun one that's up here, the amphibious armored tank, the ZTD-05 float tank that acts as a landing vehicle but has a 105 millimeter tank cannon on it that can be a tracked landing vehicle once it hits the beach. The breakout after invasion would have first 1, 2, and 3 barges from false Mulberry Harbors, which were created similar to World War II, which is a 2,700-foot causeway that would be created by the Chinese, which they've been seen building in satellite images, that barges line up, push down into the seafloor, extend barges, bridges to connect one another, which then connects to land in a false Mulberry Harbor, uploading anywhere between 2,700 and 10,000 troops per hour coming into land to reinforce an invasionary foothold. If China gets a large force ashore, it would move on Taipei, waging the largest 21st century urban battle in any mega city that's ever been seen, possibly resulting in millions of casualties, etc., etc. So that's what we're looking at here. And also Moscow is making moves on Ukraine. And of course, as you know, there's no way whatsoever Ukraine can win. Sorry about that if you believed they could. Pam Bondi and the FBI, and I'll be making a video about this on TikTok and then putting another video here on it using CapCut, of course. The FBI is making a list of American extremists, according to a leaked document. I read about this on TikTok. We'll do it here. Attorney General Pam Bondi is ordering the FBI to complete a list of groups or entities engaging in acts that may constitute domestic terrorism, according to the Justice Department memo, which was leaked hours ago. The target is those expressing opposition to law and immigration enforcement, extreme views in favor of mass migration and open borders, adherence to radical gender ideology, as well as anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity. We're all on a list. The language echoes the so-called indicators of terrorism identified by President Trump's directive, the National Security Presidential Memorandum 7, or NSPM 7, which the memo says is intended to implement, where NSPM 7 was a declaration of war on just about anyone who is not MAGA. Well, it's a good thing I voted for Donald Trump. Hey, that's always fun. Always thinking ahead. This is the war plan for how the government will wage war on a tactical level. In addition to completing a list of, quote, undesirables, Pam Bondi directs the FBI to enhance the capabilities and publicity of its tip line in order to more aggressively solicit tips from the American public on, well, other Americans. To that end, Bondi also directs the FBI to establish a cash reward system for information leading to identification and arrest of leadership figures within these purported domestic terrorist organizations. The memo later instructed the FBI to establish cooperators to provide information and eventually testify against other members of these groups. The payouts don't end there. Justice Department grants are now prioritizing funding to programs for state and local law enforcement to go after, quote, domestic terrorists. That's correct, chicken. That's correct. In a section titled, quote, Defining the Domestic Terrorism Threat, the memo cites extreme viewpoints on immigration, radical gender ideology, and anti-American sentiment, indicators that federal law enforcement are instructed to refer to the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. The JTTFs are then instructed to use all available investigative tools in order to map the full network of culpable actors involved in both inside and outside the United States. The memo also directs the FBI to retroactively investigate incidents going back 5 years, authorizing the JTTF in particular to use everything at their disposal to go against people and do so. Upon receipts of these referrals, the JTTFs shall use all available investigative tools consistent with law enforcement internal policies and statutory obligations to map the full network of culpable actors involved in the referred conduct inside and outside the United States. Jesus fucking Christ. For months, major media outlets have largely blown off the story of NSPM7, thinking it was all just Trump's bolster and too crazy to be serious. But a memo like this one shows you that the administration is absolutely taking seriously, even if the media does not, because the media has their head up their asshole. And it's actively working to operationalize NSPM7. You have to understand the media doesn't give a fuck about the truth. It's all about clicks and ad money. Whatever is sensational. So they'll hide a story that all your rights are being taken, and then they'll put up a story about a cat shitting in someone's face or something like that. But whatever has more click-through rate, that's what fucking they're doing. That's why I don't like the way algorithms prioritize any type of shit like that, because it's clear that when money is the key factor with advertisers paying, and if you have a high news story with 1 million clicks, but one that's much more important with half that, you're going to prioritize the money because people are greedy animals. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Am I right? Am I right? What's up, Nana? The cat shat in someone's face. Oh my God. NSPM7 was signed in September, largely as a response to the murder of Charlie Kirk, which was a 9/11 type style event for the Trump administration. As I've reported, Kirk's assassination is referenced explicitly in the Justice Department's memo. As anyone who lived through 9/11 could remember, which I did, the government doesn't always think rationally in those moments, to say the least. And so here we are again with a new war on terrorism. Only this time, millions of Americans like you and me will be the targets for a perceived dislike of what Donald Trump's policies are if you don't like them. End story. So, what do you think of this? I think it's garbage. And I don't care for that. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. And Donald Trump sets up a Christmas deportation campaign called You're Going Ho Ho Home. What's up, Dana? Okay. Donald Trump's Immigration and Customs Enforcement sets up a new Christmas deportation campaign. Quote, you're going ho, ho, home for Christmas. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has been faced with another backlash after posting a festive message showing ICE officers arresting people in Santa hats with riot shields with Christmas lights on it. Entitled, You're Going Ho Ho Home for Christmas.
Hey.
Oh, fuck.
What's it for?
That's funny shit right there.
What? Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. Thank you, Nana. Oh my God. That is a funny motherfucker. Who makes those memes? Can we get this guy a fucking... Oh my God. I need some of that in my life. I need some of that in my life. All right, let's go take a look at some memes of people making fun of Tim Walz, calling him a retard. Is everybody ready for that? And I'll play some of this. Oh, that is gold. Oh, that is gold. Okay, so let me hold on just a second. I'll get to these things because this is funny shit. So let me drop out my background. Remember, these are not necessarily the views of the host. Not saying they're not the views of the host, just saying they're not necessarily the views of the host. And of course, we'll be showing some Franklin memes. I've made one, not about Tim Walz. My Franklin meme was Franklin accosts an illegal Indian truck driver. So you can look that up on X. It's under my account here, Hello America Sup. They're saying that conservatives are posting this type of content. Let's get into it, shall we? He does have a big house for being a governor.
Jim Walz, you tip, retard!
Okay, so there's one. Here is... Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it because of the copyright. Oh. Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh no. They're doing it. They're actually doing it. Are you fucking kidding me? They got him in a helmet. Oh no. Oh man, this is... Yeah, here we are.
Retard! Retard!
Oh no! Oh my fucking God. This is what they're doing? Are you kidding me? This is not necessarily the beliefs of the host. I'm just fucking showing this.
Dashing through the throng, $1 billion astray. Funds all went awry, while Tim just looked away. Election night was grim, lost to Trump so bad. What fun it is to laugh and sing at Timmy's sad display. Oh, Tim Walz bells, stolen valor claimed. Never did anything brave, but claims hero anyway. Hey, Tim Walz bells, feminine and frail. Puts tampons in the boys' room,
Oh my.
Crazy wife named Gwen. Turn the page, she flips. With wild gestures, cringy rants, it's nightmare fuel, hooray. Oh, Tim Walls bells, VP dreams all dashed. Harris picked the loser, their campaign was trash.
Is he banging Nancy Pelosi?
Tim Walls bells, governor no more. With fraud and fail stacking up, his bells just hit the floor. His bells just hit the floor.
Okay, well that was released. I didn't see that. That's a new one. That's man. These are just the latest, by the way. These aren't the top ones. These are just the latest.
Tim Walls is a retard. Bye.
Really? Hold on.
Tim Walls is a retard. Bye.
There's Donald Trump. Here you go. People waiting their turn to call Tim Walz. Oh, man. This just keeps Oh, there's the guy that initially was. Want to take a trip to Minnesota, honey? There's Tim Walz kissing the. Oh, come on. Come on. The AI is. Oh, come on. That is too much AI. We are getting way too deep with the AI. That was a Somali fraudster that was in a picture with Tim Walz, and then somebody used Sora to make them kiss each other. And there's the governor's mansion with a short bus. There we go. Yeah, here we are. Oh, there's Dr. Oz.
Over $1 billion. It's true. A Somali fraud ring in Minnesota stole over $1 billion from Medicaid. How did this happen? Well, Medicaid programs are run by the states, which in Minnesota means the Tim Walz administration. Governor Walz and the state's other Democrats rely on Somali votes to get elected, so they decided to look the other way because they were afraid of quote-unquote political backlash.
Kiss everyone in
My
the.
word for it. That's what a Somali-American fraud investigator told New York Times. When these scammers realized that nobody was guarding the cash register, they went gangbusters. One program designed to provide housing stabilization assistance to patients ballooned to $104 million, when 4 years ago it was projected to cost only $2.6 million. These taxpayer funds may have even ended up in the hands of a Somalian terrorist group. Scary stuff. When CMS became aware of the housing program situation, Minnesota insisted it could clean up its own mess. A few months ago, it admitted it could not. So we stepped in to shut down the flood-infested housing initiative. Today, we're taking action on more than a dozen other programs. Our message to Walz is clear. Either fix this in 60 days or start looking under your couch for spare change, because we are done footing the bill for your incompetence. This administration will never stop fighting to protect the vulnerable Americans who rely on these programs and the taxpayers who fund them. We're going to crush waste, fraud, and abuse.
All right, so that's Dr. Oz talking about the waste and fraud. Oh my God, Tim Walz. He must be a little hoarse.
Calling our Somali neighbors garbage in the state of Minnesota. Donald Trump's calling our Somali neighbors garbage in the state of Minnesota hellhole is I'm assuming is unprecedented for a United States president.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
But demonizing an entire group of people by
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Just be very clear on this. Anyone in this state, especially elected officials, who are unable
Oh, I've been showing it, Jason.
this vile attack on our neighbors in our state, you are complicit in it.
As I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator, it's because he is. It's because he is. Oh,
I love you.
the governor's being mean, and the governor's speaking out on that. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know. There will be news.
I wonder what kind of news he's talking about. I know what kind of news he's talking about. He's talking about somebody not being alive that's in charge of stuff, honey. Margaret destroys Scott Bessent and points out the Minnesota investigation was started by the IRS criminal investigation. Let's find out what this shit is. I haven't seen this
The
yet.
president told you, though, this week to look into Somalis who, quote, ripped off that state for billions of dollars. He said they contribute nothing. What exactly are you investigating?
Well, Margaret, to be clear, the initial fraud that was discovered by the IRS, for which I'm the acting commissioner, is
Scott
discovered
Bessent.
by IRS
Yeah,
criminal
I know.
investigation.
I was.
Not an endogenous
I know. I was
thing.
surprised
And
too.
the state of Minnesota decided we had to go in and clean up the mess for them, and this is part of.
I have not yet.
A lot of money has been transferred from the individuals who committed this fraud, including those who donated to the governor, donated to Representative Omar, and donated to A.G. Ellison. But they've been transferred to something called MBSs. And those are.
That's great.
No,
What
no.
do you
Sorry?
transferred to what?
These are money, the Bureau services, and they are wire transfer
Money.
organizations that are outside the regulated banking system.
Okay.
And that money has gone overseas, and we are tracking that both to the Middle East and.
Oh, so that's like fucking
to see
Western
what the
Union
uses
and
of that
shit.
have been.
Okay.
He's basically saying that they have evidence that they were using money changing services like overseas services to get money to terrorist
But I
organizations.
can tell you that it's terrible. The Representative Omar tried to downplay it. Said, "Oh, it was very it was very tough to know how this money should be used."
Yeah.
She was gaslighting the American people.
Well, we'll talk to her.
Yeah, but when you come to this country, you got to learn the side of the road to drive on. You got to learn to stop at stop signs.
How do they say
You gotta
she?
learn not.
Okay, so after all that, she says she destroyed Scott Bessent. She barely said anything. So here's Tim Waltz's daughter talking about people calling him retarded.
No, I'm talking about this because while my family and I are always going to be the bigger people, the president calling my dad what he did has unleashed a storm regarding like
You don't have to beep
offensive
it out.
language towards me and my family, and specifically my brother. You can call me whatever you want. You can call my dad, my mom.
I can hold the camera more steady when I
When
make
it's
videos.
Gus, to the no. To the no. He dealt with people calling him that last August, and now there's a resurgence. And no, how is it okay that the president of the United States can call somebody, anybody, doesn't matter who they are, that, and then all of his freaking cult members come and attack those people and hit that person's family? Say what you want about my dad, he's an elected official, right? Like that's gonna happen. I think it's utterly disgraceful that the president did that.
God.
But then the attacks that I have seen, I have people DMing me saying absolutely horrendous things. When I was home last week, somebody drove by and screamed that we were R words. Just driving by in their car. I'm like, what world are we living in? And again,
world
I
you
don't like
created.
Gus because he dealt with that before, and not again. You people are disgraceful. Shame on you, all of you.
You started it. Your side started it. Here, put that with me. Your side started it now. Remember when you guys were yelling at a baby in a stroller during the Kamala Harris rallies? Yeah, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farms remembers. So real quick, I just want to go through something. Okay, here, hot stuff. I just want to go through a little bit of this real quick. Here is Somali illegal Abdul Dani. Do you want to move? Abdul Dahir Ibram, who was involved in the Feeding Our Future fraud scam, posing with Tim Waltz, Ilhan Omar, Secretary of State Steve Simon, and Tina Smith. So then here is
Home state of Delaware.
Joe Biden calling everybody garbage. Several handcuffed people loaded onto a plane by the Department of Homeland Security in Minnesota. Here we go. Look at this. These are people that are going to be deported.
Tonight showing federal activity at MSP. A crew capturing Homeland Security vans at the airport with several people appearing to be handcuffed while boarding that airplane. It's still unclear where the plane may be headed, who in fact are the people on board, or if it's even related to the federal immigration operation that we've been seeing this week. We're still working to learn more information from ICE.
They still are.
Has not responded to our questions. Not a new video tonight showing
ICE did not respond to your questions. Montgomery County, Maryland Council president who came to America as a teen introduced the Trust Act, which would limit ICE's ability to conduct operations. There's Somalian migrant Muhammad racked up dozens of charges since 2015. Almost every charge was dismissed, and he was released each time. He'll be out. He was went out on the streets. Oh, I remember this guy. He raped a woman to death. This man right here raped a woman to death on the steps of a church in Nashville, Tennessee. I remember that bloke right there. Yeah, that guy needs to be fucking executed, in my opinion. You rape a woman to death? What the fuck? Is it Maine fraud also? That makes sense. Red Clay School District has restored their transgender policy, 8005, which keeps a separate secret file on students of the name of the family known them in the name, bathroom, sports they identify with. That's creepy shit. Blocked 2 school districts from enforcing sex-based bathrooms. New York City, or New York School Education Commissioner Betty Rosa has blocked 2 school districts from enforcing sex-based bathrooms and locker room policies. The Locust Valley and Massapequa School District both tried protecting girls, and Democrat leaders are refusing to allow them. Democrats want to force your young daughters to share bathrooms with boys. Democrats hate women and girls, according to the libs of TikTok. What is this? Remove potential signage that says Black Lives Matters. So apparently this is in Nashville, and even though they were ordered to remove BLM and pride shit, I thought it was, look, okay, so this is tacky as fuck, okay? I had a university here at Indiana University in Indianapolis, and for the better part of 7 years, they had 5 years, whatever it was, they had Black Lives Matter over the street. First of all, that's stupid as fuck, right? It looks stupid as fuck. That's dumb. And when fucking a whole street in Washington, D.C. had it said Black Lives Matter on the street, like everybody needs to be told what to fucking think, and that we have to be told like we're fucking stupid. Like, that's ridiculous. Who the fuck do these dumbasses think they are? I support black people. Who doesn't? What kind of stupid asshole doesn't? But I don't want my fucking shit saying, do you want it to say Jewish lives matter? It bothers me because I don't want to see white lives matter. I don't want to see Jewish lives matter. I just want it back the way it was when everybody was publicly perceived as not a racist or not stupid. We don't need goddamn signs telling us that Black Lives Matter. Everybody should just fucking know it. Well, some people don't. Wonderful. You don't have to put it as a fucking street light or a street sign. We don't have to be that fucking retarded, frankly speaking. Well, that's just showing support. Okay, so if you put a White Lives Matter, so if this said White Lives Matter, Everybody would have a fucking conniption fit. If that said white lives matter, everybody would have a fucking conniption fit. But the fact that fucking it said, no, well, that's just how it is. Okay, well, let's look at it the opposite way. Well, no, that's just racism. No, that's just tip for tat. Don't give me that fucking, it's racist for me or for you to do it, but it's not racist for me to do it. That's disingenuous horse shit. That is disingenuous horse shit. If you can put Black Lives Matter, then you can put Asian Lives Matter. White Lives Matter. Green Lives Matter. Fucking people that are fiddler crab lives matter. But if you don't like it, then get rid of it all. Or allow it all. Well, no, one's racist. No, that's just the mark of a stupid person to say one's racist and one's not. We can piecemeal it any way we want. Well, historical, we're not talking about historical context here. I don't give a fuck about historical context. It's the year 2025. Fuck yourself. I don't got time for all that shit. I'm a working guy with a family. I went to grad school. Even I think it's fucking stupid. All right, anyway. This woman was a Cinnabon employee. I will not be showing this all the way because she uses the N-word in the video. And I will not be, but this girl right here was fired from Cinnabon. A Somali couple in Wisconsin was harassing this girl. Then she eventually went off on a racist tirade, calling the couple the N-word and saying she was a racist. That got her fired, and her GoFundMe has raised $109,000. I will not go into that video because I don't know the rules on YouTube. But, not with that anyway. But she does use the N-word, and I don't care if it's context. I don't want to fight about it. So just look that up. Go on X, look up Cinnabon. Now here's Zohran Mamdani. Is that who this is? So let's find out what he has to say. I haven't heard from Mamdani since he was elected. Oh, you're hot. I'm putting distillate on this. Is that all right? By the way, this is a distillate cart or a distillate syringe. I'm going to put some of this in my joint that I'm rolling here and you're not looking at it. This is almost pure THC right here. This will fucking send you to goddamn outer space. Ready? Let's see what Mamdani has to say.
Last weekend, ICE attempted to raid Canal Street and detain our immigrant neighbors. As mayor, I'll protect the rights of every New Yorker, and that includes the more than 3 million immigrants who call this city their home. But we can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights. If you encounter ICE, these are the things that every New Yorker should know. First, ICE cannot enter into private spaces like your home, school, or a private area of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. That looks like this. If ICE does not have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, you have the right to say, I do not consent to entry, and the right to keep your door closed. Sometimes ICE will show you paperwork that looks like this and tell you that they have the right to arrest you. That is false.
But if they beat the shit out of you and arrest you...
But you have the right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, am I free to go? Repeatedly, until they answer you. You are legally allowed to film ICE, as long as you do not interfere with an arrest. It is important to remain calm during any interaction with ICE or law enforcement. Do not impede their investigation, resist arrest, or run. One last thing. New Yorkers have a constitutional...
How do I use this thing?
When I'm mayor, we will protect that right. New York will always welcome immigrants, and I will fight each and every day to protect, support, and celebrate our immigrant brothers and sisters.
Okay, so that's the advice of Zohran Mamdani that basically says to avoid ICE. So this is a Somalian that says he wants Donald Trump to see the full takeover. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know how to use this. Is that bad? Should I be smarter than... Yes, we did. I'm sure. For fuck's sakes, here you go. Enjoy.
Yes, he may never witness that. He already witnessed our partial takeover, our little success in America. And he is the reason, actually, I know that the community in America is thriving. He is how I know. It's like, how we measure our progress. If he doesn't tweet, somebody messed up. I know it. Somebody fucked up the plan. If he tweet, I know. We're doing the right things.
There's a cap on the
That's how I
front
know.
of it. No, there's another one. Touch the end.
He's old and sick, I
It's
know.
plastic. No,
He may
no,
not
tip
put
like
this
I
on
think it's coming out. It's not. See?
But I promise you that his son
That's not
will do this. Just like
Really? Let me see.
we came to exist in this country.
Sorry about the volume. This guy's voice is bad. Basically, he's saying that he's worried that Donald Trump will end up seeing, basically, he will not end up seeing their takeover. All right, so here is Ilhan Omar. Let's hear from her.
Of Somali descent. Of the 87 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community. Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis, because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And so it's been really
27G needle in it.
frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also as Minnesotans, as taxpayers,
Yeah, I don't have one.
really
Shit.
upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
What?
Of the 87 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community.
Okay, so this is Maine School District voted to uphold policy recognizing two genders despite lawsuits from Democrats. Fuck. I love you. This person, Senator Patty Murphy, says that my constituent was mauled by an ice dog. Okay. Here's teachers that have... Here's a teacher at this school right here called Normal Community High School is allowing their teachers to use abolish ICE shirts. See what else we got here. Former Illinois judge Patricia Martin avoids jail time, sentenced to probation after stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from a 95-year-old World War II veteran. So this piece of shit stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from this hero, and she gets probation. Fuck you, bitch. Rosie O'Donnell told her to detach from Trump for 2 days. She lasted only hours. Do we need... You have no idea how to make that work, do you?
No, but it says you don't need an email.
Here, let me see it real quick. An actual survey being given to an 11-year-old in Massachusetts. Instructions, blah, blah. Survey is anonymous, saying, how old are you? So this is a survey given to 11-year-olds in Massachusetts. How old are you? What grade are you? What race or ethnicity? What is your sex? What is your if you're non-binary? Some people describe themselves as transgender. You can put that on there. And which describes you if you're gay, straight, bisexual. Why does a fucking school want to have that information? It's almost like you're putting them in a list. You know what I'm saying? That's really fucking weird to me.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
So this is Somali State Senator Zainab Mohammed. She says that ICE agents are everywhere, not just Minneapolis, but all over Minnesota, to be intimidating and aggressive. So let's hear what she has to say.
Hey y'all, I hope you're all doing okay. I'm so sorry I'm giving a late update today. It is 3:31 p.m. and it has been a long and a busy day. First update, ICE is still here. They are all over the state of Minnesota. They are not just in Minneapolis and St. Paul. They are in the suburbs. They are in central Minnesota. They are everywhere our community is at.
ICE agents were deployed 3 days ago by the hundreds. And let me tell you something, they have only picked up 12 people, and out of those, only 5 are Somalis.
Really?
So to be clear, out of almost 90,000 Somalis in Minnesota, they only found 5 people in 3 days. What you should know is ICE agents are not here to only pick up Somali people. They are here to intimidate us, to be aggressive, and to violate our constitutional rights. Hey, y'all, I hope you're
Okay.
okay.
So that's State Senator of Somalia right there. Gavin Newsom's press office just posted this. Oh, no.
It looks like it's getting shiny at the bottom. So try it now.
There's something in the way.
Just try it. No?
No, it's not going to come through because there's something. Whoa. Un momento, por favor. Hold on, I've almost got this distillate pen going. So there's Gavin Newsom with totally normal behavior. Here, I'm going to go like. No, it's all right. I'm going to just hold it here for a minute like this. Yes. What do you think about that? That is totally normal behavior. Absolutely. What a fucking freak, I swear to God. Listen to Davis Unified School District as framing this person as repugnant for exposing gender indoctrination. Yeah, I'm almost done. I want to get this going. This one right here.
Those posts made their way to a bunch of repugnant other social media sites like Libs of TikTok and others, and that led to a series of bomb threats against our schools. I think we had a total of 6 days worth of bomb threats that closed or delayed school starts.
Oh, so we better censor free speech, honey.
And they also were directed at the Yolo County Library, which is just adjacent to one of our elementary schools, all focused on curriculum, referencing the post,
Like,
and or focused on question. And as you can
yeah,
imagine, that had,
look at that though.
especially on elementary age
It's like
students, one of those
Spider-Man.
bomb threats came the afternoon of
I love you.
entry night, the welcome night for our TK kinder parents.
Oh man, it happened the night of kinder parents.
So there was a lot of fear, anxiety. We involved local law enforcement, the FBI, Homeland Security, in an attempt to try to find out where these threats were coming from. Ultimately, they did not find any perpetrators, but it continued to cause a lot. And we had some in our community who wanted us to acquiesce, like just take that stuff out, so we don't have to face these threats and school closures, and others that said, no way, don't do that. There's a laws that support these materials being in these schools or locations, and you need to stand tall and firm against this sort of threatening behavior. Our governance team had to manage that very challenging circumstance, high emotion and tensions all throughout our community. We had an imperative to follow the law and to protect our students and staff to the greatest degree possible. Ultimately, the threats subsided over the course of nearly a month to build trust and emotional connection with a vulnerable person, typically a minor at-risk adult, with the intent to facilitate a future sexual abuse or exploitation. Oh, can't do that.
Right. The dictionary for pornography refers to material or representation designed to arouse sexual pleasure.
All right, we're going to get back to questions.
That's the no definition. So
Yep, not listening to what the public wants, just whatever. Thank you, my love. And here's somebody pissing on Donald Trump's.
Somalia, no government, no safety, no police, no nothing, just anarchy.
It goes off all over my, yeah. Are you sure this is like, okay, here, I'm sorry. So this guy's pissing on Donald Trump's star. That's wonderful. What a fucking idiot, I swear to God.
It's coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming out. It's just like not, I don't know. So anyway, that's what we got here. The news is, no, I don't want that fucking shit, stupid. God damn it with CC Cleaner. Urgh. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to just go like this because I know stupid people always have a problem with sources, so I'll just show my fucking shit here. Donald Trump and Melania Trump arrive at Kennedy Center honors to pay tribute to Sylvester Stallone and Kiss and Gloria Gaynor. President and First Lady made history as the first president to host the revered gala at the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Trump immediately praised the honorees at tonight's event, noting that he approved each winner before quipping, "I think I'm going to nominate myself next year." Here's him looking stone-faced as ever. Dark MAGA. Not there. He's looking like a king there. Is Trump genuinely funny on stage, or do you just think I think he's funny. No, thank you. 58% of people say he's funny. 42% say no.
If it doesn't work, we'll just do something else.
Well, I have a little bit of it in there. I mean, just a tiny bit. There's Sly Stallone. Oh, it's look how old Sylvester Stallone is, man. I cannot believe how old he is. Rocky Balboa. But he is the king. I got to tell you, I like Sylvester Stallone. I saw him rip a man's heart out and show it to him before he died. Is it coming out? I can't see.
Yeah.
It is like a lot. Oh, yeah. I love you. Your boobs are so nice.
We're just putting it in that and rolling it.
Yeah. Well, you remember how I did with the shatter? I'm basically doing that with it. If I could get it the fuck out of there. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get distillate out. Who is that? Is that Tiffany Trump? Is that what that is? Everybody used to think she was hot shit until she got pregnant from some Orlando Bloom knockoff. It is so stuck to my finger, you cannot imagine right now. It is like so stuck to my finger. This is the stickiest concentrate. Is one of your hairs stuck to it? No, okay. Just making sure. So I'm going to take that and roll it in keef like that. That's not enough though, is it? That's like a thin row, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay though, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're fine with that, right? Or do you want more?
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, to say don't use CC Cleaner. It used to be good back in the day. You got to admit, it used to be good back in the day. It became a little whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm about done here. And then, of course, Dave Poignan, NFL, is calling for... Sparks outrage by calling for NFL coach to be murdered. What a fucking idiot. America's most depraved sex cult or whatever. Super Bowl champion Saab. Miley Cyrus is fucking another guy. Surprise, surprise. And Zohran Mamdani standing up, showing people how to fight ice, and people are pissed. So I'll probably make a video on that. I've got 2 more videos to make tonight, honey, on TikTok. Anyway, so that's it right there. I'll show that video later on TikTok, and I will do that. Follow me here on YouTube. Hello America Sup. Don't forget to subscribe. Hold on, let me turn that this way. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to roll this joint up here, and I'm putting distillate in it. So I'm going to be super fucked up coming up here. So anyway, follow me here on YouTube. Subscribe here. All that type of shit. Share. I'll be on TikTok once again tomorrow probably, but TikTok is a fucking dumpster fire as far as people. They are fucking psychotic. What's up, Proud Boy? I love you being here and all that. And this is what we're doing here. So I've got a video to do on lists being made of people that are undesirables in the United States, and then Mamdani, and that's what we're doing here. Yeah, so you guys are awesome. So thank you for being here. I have memberships available, so become a member. I have various grades of them. Subscribe, it's free. Thumbs up, it's free. Gift, it's free. And of course, my Cash App and Venmo is down here, attached by my wife, which is my moderator. And oh, that smells really good. And all that type of stuff. So yeah, follow me on TikTok. I also, not only am I the Hello America Sup on TikTok, I'm also the American Unity Party on TikTok. It says Sup America. That's my archaeology and history and all that other shit. And yeah, so we'll be here back and forth on TikTok till about 100,000 hearts, and then over here, because that's what we do, and we're going to do both back and forth, so fuck them. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, hit the notification button. If you don't like me, block me or mute me or whatever, and go fuck yourself. And I'll be here tomorrow. See you later. Bye.